Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. It's been a day. It's been a crazy day if you're a Roma fan. It's been one of those days that we will never forget. It's been a crazy one. Mourinho sacked in the morning and De Rossi appointed as new manager this afternoon, and he guided Roma's new era, Roma's first training session under him. Um, this afternoon, I'm here to speak about this. I'm here to speak about Daniele. I'm here to speak about DDR. I'm here to speak about our new manager. Is it the right decision to appoint somebody with a very little managerial experience? I'm also here to conclude and finalize my last arguments regarding Jose and the way he left. I am not gonna cry this time. Don't worry. I mean, it's been an emotional day. That reaction earlier today was a hot reaction. I just came back from school, and this morning I was in the French room. I was in the French room attending a French class, and it was 5 minutes until the end of the lesson. I open my phone and I go on Twitter and I read the official statement of Roma sacking Mourinho, and I'm like, hang on a second, let me check this. You know how like on Twitter there are so many fake fans and fake accounts? I'm like, let me click on the account and let's see if it's somebody who wrote it randomly or if it's the official account. And it had 2.3 million followers, and then I went to Instagram and then everybody started posting stories of Mourinho being sacked, and I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? And that's the way I found out. I think everybody here found out in a very surprised way. But look, Mourinho's gone. We can't be here speaking and reminiscing about the past, because he'll be here. He will forever be here. He will forever be welcome at the Olimpico. He will forever be welcome and will forever be remembered. But we have to move on. Roma stays. Players, managers, owners are all here for a little amount of time. What is important is the unity of the fan base and the team and the badge and the colours. And we move. And on Saturday we've got a big game played under some very difficult circumstances. I will be there. I will be there to film my first stadium vlog in a post-Mourinho era. I will be there to capture how the fans react to this Mourinho thing. I'll be there to capture how the fans react to Daniele. But let's get into this. I do want to start. I mean, I did devote quite a few minutes on Jose in my last live stream. So I'm gonna start this one speaking about DDR, and then I will conclude it with Jose. Look, the first thing which we're here to analyze is it the right decision to appoint a manager who has zero managerial experience, and therefore we're going from one of the best managers out there with an incredible experience to a manager which has zero managerial experience? Is this the right decision, and what can he pull? Because his managerial experience started at Spal in the Serie B, and it lasted a few months, and then he got sacked. So is he the right manager? And when you have to answer this question, you have to look at the broader picture. And the broader picture here is, this is exactly it. What were people expecting when you sack a manager mid-season? Conte and all of these names are options in the summer. You can't expect to sack a manager mid-season and get a manager, a big name manager, or any other manager who's currently, active, accepting a proposal in January. That's not how it works. And this is exactly why sacking Mourinho mid-season was never going to be a solution. And I do want to speak about why the hell did it happen at the end of this live stream. Is De Rossi the right person? And as much as he doesn't have managerial experience, you have to look at the broader picture once again. Out of all the managers available to accept a January proposal, he is the only one who would potentially suit this job. Because yes, okay, he doesn't have the managerial experience, but he's got the passion. And he is Roman. And he knows what it means to be a Roma fan. And he knows what it means to suffer, to fight. So in terms of the passion that he can bring to the players and wake the fuck out of them, he's the perfect player to get under these dynamics. Because in January, you've got a restricted choice. His contract is a 6-month contract until June 2020, June 2024. If we do get Champions League football, which is not going to happen, then he's got the bonus of, extending his stay at Roma. And look, I'll say it right now, if he does get Champions League football, he's got all the rights to stay. He's got all the rights to stay. But we're not going to get Champions League football. We are not going to get Champions League football. I don't think we're going to get Champions League football now. And I was the first one in August saying that we were not going to get Champions League football with Mourinho. So it's a situation where, is he the correct manager to get? No, he's not. But looking at the broader situation and looking at the empathy, he is. Because he'll be feisty. He will teach a lot of these players what it means to die for this team. Another thing here is very simple. Why did the Fredkins appoint De Rossi? Is because they knew what the reaction was going to be when they announced Mourinho's sacking. So they were forced to appoint a manager who was popular amongst the fan base. Because a hypothetical situation where Mourinho got sacked and therefore, everybody would have reacted in a negative way because the majority of Roma fans wanted him to stay until the contract expires. Then, yes, the majority of Roma fans wanted to separate ways. But it's different. It's different sacking him now and making him end the season and respect the contract. So the Fredkins, it's another one of those strategic things that they're doing. I'm sacking Mourinho, going against the popularity of the Roma fan base. I am forced to appoint somebody who the Roma fan base will love. So that in the same 24 hours, a Roma fan will be very gutted, but also very excited. Because De Rossi is every Roma fan's biggest idol. De Rossi I grew up with De Rossi in that midfield. I've said it many times in the live streams. He is my idol. He was my idol growing up with Nainggolan. So as a Roma fan, I am devastated. I am disappointed. And you've seen it in my earlier live stream that Mourinho went. But this is strategic done by the Fredkins, because I'm also happy that De Rossi is the new manager. So again, they're playing about with these little games. One thing, Dan Fredkin, Ryan Fredkin, and whoever contributed in this decision, my dear friends, you are playing with fire, and you have decided to play with fire. Because now what happens is very simple. If the results fail to come, and if Roma doesn't improve, and if Roma falls deeper into this crisis, Roma fans are not going to turn against their manager, because their manager is their idol. So you've decided to play with fire, Dan, Ryan, and whoever was behind this decision. You have decided to play with fire. Because now, if things don't improve, and if we fall deeper and deeper into this crisis, the fans are going to turn against you, not the manager. Because no Roma fan will ever turn against Daniele De Rossi. So you've decided to play with fire. And if this decision doesn't work out, you are fucked. And you, as fans, will convince you to sell this team. Because you don't know about ball, and sacking Mourinho mid-season was terrible. And you decided at this. You decided to play with fire, Dan. You decided to play with fire. If things improve and this decision, proves to be a right decision, fair play. You were brave enough to take the decision. The results are now arriving and we're back going. But if we don't improve, you are fucked. Because the fans are never going to turn against their idol. Even if we get relegated, it's going to be your fault. Because De Rossi, just like Mourinho, is not Harry Potter. And the situation won't change. It's exactly why Mourinho had to end the season. Because the situation won't change. Appointing De Rossi doesn't mean that Dybala now will play 70 consecutive games. Appointing De Rossi doesn't mean that Pellegrini will start scoring 22 goals per season. Appointing De Rossi doesn't mean that, the fullbacks are going to start crossing the ball. Because at the end of the day, the amount of time that is going to go by before De Rossi implants his tactics in this team, for the next 3, 4, 5 months, these players are going to play like they've been doing with Mourinho. So nothing is going to change. And, look, Dan, I've said it again and I'm going to say it again. You've decided to play with fire. If things go wrong, you are going to be fucked. Because the fans are going to turn against you and will never turn against DDR. Look, De Rossi. Now, Roma fans, me, Simo, every Roma fan watching this, who is a real Roma fan, this decision might have been unpopular, and I understand, I can see the frustration, I can feel the frustration in me, but this decision has happened, and we have to back Daniele De Rossi. Daniele De Rossi might not be the best pick for this Roma team, but I'm convinced that Daniele De Rossi will fight just like he's always fought for this team. Daniele De Rossi is going to die and show these players how to die. I trust DDR, and I don't want to spit shit on him because he's my idol, and I wish him all the best. But unfortunately, it's a situation where the manager shouldn't have been sacked right now. Ending the season, yes, but sacking the manager now, absolutely not. And realistically speaking, I think appointing De Rossi now is a way to kill his own legacy with the football club. Because again, it's very early to... Gianluca Mancho, thank you very much for the $10. All the support from Florida, USA. Dai Roma sempre. Thank you, mate. Thank you very, very much for your support. Look, what I was saying here is appointing De Rossi and giving him the Roma job is extremely premature, but at time of speaking, if you decided to sack Mourinho, it's the right decision because he's the only manager who could take this job and and create that, keep the empathy going with the fans. But, very big but, appointing De Rossi now is going to kill him, is going to kill him. It's going to kill his legacy that he has with this team and the fans. Because, if he doesn't improve, it's not his fault, but he's not going to be the hero, if you see what I mean. So the decision of appointing De Rossi is a premature decision, and it's a decision that is going to ruin him. And, De Rossi has never been shy. De Rossi has always been brave. De Rossi has built his career on charisma and courage and, being brave. And I'm not even questioning that De Rossi is scared of this job. But it's a risky job because it can ruin the legacy that he has. And again, I'm not sure if the Fredkins don't know this because they're American and they're not here knowing football. They're here to do business. Appointing club legends as managers, it hasn't worked out in any football club. Look at Lampard at Chelsea, absolute flop. Look at Pirlo at Juventus. It doesn't mean that if a player was a fucking legend for a football team, he's gonna be the same as a manager. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the pattern shows that a football legend of a football club, it won't go well as a football manager, and that's it. But look, Daniele, I trust you, Daniele. I love you, Daniele. You've always been my idol. And, Jose, in my opinion, shouldn't have been sacked. And I will continue saying this. Jose should have ended the season. We didn't decide this. We are the victims of this decision, us fans. And I am here to give my full support, my full love, and my full faith and confidence to Daniele De Rossi. Back last, I really, unless Mourinho says an interview, unless Mourinho speaks about his past, and therefore as a Roma fan channel, we're going to analyze what he says and how he's digested this decision. This is the last time I will speak about Mourinho, and I will kind of finalize my judgments and statements. Again, Mourinho will come up in arguments and topics and videos once in a while, no doubt. But, it's time to shift the attention, because unfortunately the manager transition has happened. And from Jose in 24 hours, we've gone for Daniele De Rossi. And for Daniele's respect, it is also, understandable for us fans to start shifting the attention towards him and away from what is now our past manager, which we will forever be grateful for. I will never be tired of saying this. Jose changed something in us Roma fans. Jose made us dream. Jose protected us. Jose defended us. Jose right now, yes, his cycle was deemed to come to an end, but right now, sacking was never a solution, and keeping Jose was going to be the solution. But, look, the last things that I will say about Mourinho is the shock continues. The surprise continues. I just am here, and I've been sat down on this desk for the majority of today, glancing at this window in front of me, staring at the sky, and asking myself, why did they wake up today and sack the manager? What brought them to this drastic decision? Which I just don't get, how you wake up one day and you take such a drastic decision. I just don't get this. And I have built up my own theories. My theory here is, this isn't my confirmation. This is me building theories and building questions. If I had Jose in front of me today, or even if Dan Fredkin I had it in front of me, I would ask him so many questions. In my opinion, why Mourinho got sacked is because after the derby, in between the moment we lost the derby to post Milan on Sunday, the team and the players completely turned against him. It's my only justifiable solution as to why Mourinho got sacked today. My only solution is a massive crevice appeared within the team. The majority of the players teamed up to turn against him because they were exhausted of his own philosophy, and they were exhausted of Mourinho's tactics, and they were exhausted of having Mourinho as a manager. And so they went to Dan Fredkin and said, Dan, it's time to sack him. We can't do this anymore. It's the only reason, because you don't wake up one day and sack a manager out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's my only reason. So, and again, there's evidence for this. The evidence for this is something which I questioned my own self on Sunday. My question, which I asked myself the second that lineup on Sunday came out against Milan, why the hell is Villar starting this game? Yes, okay, it might have been a tactical decision, but why in such an important game? The reason why Rui Patricio was benched and Villar started that game made no sense. And it's the evidence as to why something shattered in that room, in that locker room, and something definitely, ultimately broke. Because it's a decision which never made sense. It's a decision which at the time didn't make sense, which isn't a Mourinho thing to do. Rui Patricio was one of Mourinho's biggest loyal players. So I already asked myself a few questions when Villar was put in that starting 11. Why the hell is he starting this game? Look, a lot of sources are saying that it's a decision that comes from Dan Fredkin. It's a decision that Dan Fredkin personally decided communicated to Mourinho this morning and communicated to the players this afternoon. And in fact, alongside De Rossi this afternoon, he went in front of the players and said, now you don't have any more justifications. You need to start fighting. You need to start showing your balls. That's apparently what Dan Fredkin says. Again, people are saying that the players were been surprised by this too. But that's what you expect. That's what the players make you want to believe. You know, the players will never make you want to believe that they were the reason that Mourinho got sacked. So yeah, I think I've been reading, and a lot of Sky Sports has said this. Sky Sports have said that, Sky Sports have said that this decision came, and that the sacking Mourinho decision was already coming in the Fredkin's mind after the Budapest final. Sky Sports said that the Fredkins were thinking about this for quite a long while, and that they were thinking about this after the Budapest final, they were thinking about this after the Genoa catastrophe, and then they ultimately came down to their decision after the Milan game. What triggered this is without a doubt the derby. The derby last Wednesday was it literally was the pull trigger to everything here. But I think the underlying factors, apart from the poor results in big games, the underlying factors is the way Mourinho presented himself in front of the mics. Which again, a lot of us could argue he was saying the truth, because the team isn't a massive team is true. But the second Mourinho goes, this team, it's impossible to get top four with this team, you're kind of downgrading the investments that the ownership did to you. The second Mourinho kept on blaming the referees and never took responsibilities for himself. I think the Fredkins never tolerated this. I think the Fredkins never digested this. Mourinho is a manager which we will never have in the future regarding this, attacking his own ownership, attacking the structure of the ownership. And in a lot of these occasions, I think he was right. The structure of this ownership sucks. But ultimately, put yourself in Dan Fredkin's boots. Put yourself in the boots of an owner. Getting criticisms over criticisms by a manager which you pay yourself never was tolerated. So I think the interviews and the press conferences, as well as the lost derby and the protest with the fans, was the trigger to everything. It just doesn't make sense how quick things escalated, never. It doesn't. But sacking was never a solution. But the sacking has happened. Just as I will keep on saying this, reminiscing the past and looking at the past is great. Jose will forever be here. On Saturday at the Olympico, there's going to be banners over banners thanking Jose. But yeah, we can't do anything about this. Jose got sacked. Bring the new era, the new cycle here with Daniele De Rossi, which I fully trust. And I just think, what? Apart from the fact that sacking the manager mid-season is, in my opinion, unjustifiable, it's not the fact. For me, it's not the fact. It's the reason for me of why I'm extremely disappointed is the way we treated him. Not we. No, let me take that back. Not we. Because we fans love Jose every single game. The way the Fredkins treated him. The way the Fredkins treated Jose is embarrassing. And I think Jose got very disappointed from the way he got sacked. I think the way this process has been carried out is very disrespectful towards the manager. That Mourinho cycle was coming to an end, I have no doubt. The Mourinho cycle at the end of the season had to part ways, I agree. But not now. And the way it's been done, it's embarrassing towards him. But yeah, look. What else? What else can we say? I'm curious to see how it goes. As always, we grow from these tough moments. Another very curious thing is, in my opinion, to see what Jose has to say. What Jose has to say to the fans, which is one thing, and I think he's going to be very emotional, and what Jose has to say regarding this and how he woke up today. But that's something that I don't think Jose is going to speak on, before he gets appointed in a new team. I just don't see Jose as the type of guy to put a farewell post on Instagram. If he needs to say things, he's going to say things out loud. Yeah, look, a new era starts, a new cycle starts at Roma. For one last time, publicly, but for not, forever internally, but for one last time publicly, Jose, we fucking love you. Jose, we will miss you. And yeah, but there's nothing we can do. Look, I am gonna catch you tomorrow with tomorrow is Wednesday. Look, tomorrow, just continuation to this. I want to see the continuation to this. I want to see what is happening. De Rossi had his first meeting. De Rossi is slowly going to talk to each player individually to make them understand what it means to wear a Roma kit. De Rossi is going to stay over at Trigoria tonight. El Shaarawy and Bove have decided to have dinner with him tonight. And let this new cycle and era begin. Daniele, forza Daniele, forza Roma. And while we're there, for last time, forza Jose. And Jacob Lundquist, thank you very much for the 27 SEK. I don't know what that is. What is DDR's style of play? Will they play same? DDR is coming from Spalletti's school, so that he will have a more offensive and maybe a more alternative way of playing, I have no doubt. But that's not going to happen on Saturday. Can we please understand this? That's probably going to happen in 5 months. So it's not like De Rossi comes in today. On Saturday, we're going to start playing Spalletti ball. No. On Saturday, next week, in 1 month, in that Feyenoord time, we're going to play like we've played. These managers have been playing under Mourinho for 3 years. They are used to these tactics, and it's not going to take De Rossi one training session with De Rossi to change stuff. Maybe the formation will change, and that will change, but the tactics are going to stay. Look, I've had enough. I just need to go to bed and just reflect on what these last 24 hours have been. As always, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. As I said earlier today, compact, united. I love you all. It's from these tough moments that we grow as a community, as a fan base, and as famous people once said, don't be sad that it ended, smile that it happened, even though I'm very gutted that Jose's era has come to an end. But again, I trust Daniele, I trust DDR, and let's welcome him the best way possible on Saturday, hopefully with 3 points. Talk to you soon. Good night. Smash a like, subscribe. Thank you for your support. Thank you for super chats tonight. And good night, y'all.